Hello, my name is Amy Herrera, and if you're watching this video, it's probably because I have your student in my Honors Algebra 2 class. So I'm going to take a little bit of time to introduce myself and then walk through what Honors Algebra 2 looks like. My contact information is here, my email address, and then my phone number, so please feel free to reach out at any time if you've got any questions or concerns. I have been here at North for 5 years. I teach geometry, and obviously I also teach Honors Algebra 2. I have been married to my husband for 11 years. He is a teacher and administrator in a different district. He is working remotely from home right now. We have a 7-year-old who is doing a hybrid schedule at Keeneland, and then we have a 2-year-old as well. Switching over to Honors Algebra 2, I'm going to go through our Google Classroom because this is probably the best way to see what's available, where everything's at if you need to refer back. Here on the Google Classroom page, I've done my best to keep this organized so that students can stay as organized as possible. I know that they've got a lot to keep track of. So in the Google Classroom page, I have a class information section, which just generally has the class information, and I'll keep this at the top. I have our unit packets here. These are just the blank PDFs that I had emailed out about originally. So students can access those, they are there. And then I'm going to have a section for each unit where I will push out each day's class materials, put answer keys, things like that. So going back up here to the class information, I'm going to start with the syllabus here. I did go through this with students, but I want to make sure to hit the important points in here with you as well. Again, my contact information is here in the syllabus. Got a course description, the units of study that we'll be going through throughout the entire year. Materials, I want to talk about this really quick. The unit packets, I emailed out about this at the beginning of the year. For the unit packets, typically what we would do in a regular school year is we would print these out, and they are pretty lengthy packets. Some of them can be 50, 60 pages in length. Paper form is preferred with these. Have them printed to be able to write on them because that's what we work out of pretty much every single day. So I did recommend printing those. If there is an issue printing and you would really like to have them printed, please contact me, and I think I can probably get something figured out for you. Graphing calculator is required for this, so not a scientific calculator, but a graphing calculator, and we've actually already been using these in class. Graph paper, lined notebook paper, because we do take notes throughout class. Pencils and erasers, obviously a folder specifically for Honors Algebra 2, and then I did make the recommendation of possibly getting additional dry erase markers, because they got those cute little dry erase boards and only one marker, and I know from experience those markers don't last for very long. As far as the grading scale goes, general grading scale, as I think the rest of the school follows, but how is the grade calculated in Honors Algebra 2? Assessments, individual tests and quizzes account for a combined 85%, and this is primarily because students can use their notes, and the test should be easier for students to complete. Then we have the homework, classwork, and then eventually we'll be doing a team challenge type of thing, and those are each 5%. So the homework is typically done through Alex, and I'll explain what that is in just a few minutes. Classwork might be something that I ask, maybe they take a picture of a classwork page and send it in, or we're doing some kind of activity and I'm just taking points for the classwork, the work that they're doing in class. Moving down, class participation expectations. I went through this with the students as well, but it probably follows along with what most other teachers are asking of students. To be on time, I always open up class about 5 minutes early for students to get into. If anything is missed, it's the responsibility of the student to make sure that they make that up or figure that out. Visual presentation, I do ask in certain instances that students be on camera, and that would be if I'm taking attendance during assessments, and then if we're doing some kind of activity that might require me being able to see them. But I do understand that having that camera on, sometimes it inhibits other activities or things that are happening on the Chromebook, so I try to be sensitive to that. Communication, I ask that mics are muted unless we're doing something that requires students unmuting, and they've generally done a really good job of this, coming off of mute to ask questions, which is always totally fine, but just to eliminate those distractions from the class is why I ask for the muting. Skipping down, being prepared, make sure that the Google Classroom page is easily accessible during class because that's where I post a lot of things. They'll need pencil, paper, calculator available, and then some students do use headphones already, but headphones might be good if there are other distractions at home. Our learning management systems, I'm hoping eventually to switch over to Zoom, but right now we are using Google Meet, which is working fine. Google Classroom is where I push everything out. I already talked about that, but that's going to have assignments, answer keys, class materials, all the things that we would need to hold class. And Alex is used for homework assignments. We have not used it for any assessments, and right at the moment, we're not using it for assessments. Right now, we're using Google Forms for our assessments, but that could change at any point. Alex is useful not just for the homework assignments, kind of the things that we're doing in class and practicing, but we're also using that if we're needing to fill any gaps because it creates a kind of a pathway for students based on what they already know. So here's the Alex website. The students did an initial knowledge check I think it was last week or a couple weeks ago, where it kind of gauged where their learning was at. It wasn't for points or anything like that, but then we can create a pathway for them to try and fill in some of the learning gaps that may have been created by the emergency remote learning or just summer or anything like that. So that's also something that is going on through Alex. Moving back here to our Google Classroom page. Oh, actually, one other thing I want to cover from the syllabus. At the bottom, I have a little bit about getting extra help. I'm available Tuesday through Friday from 7:20 a.m. to 8:15 a.m. Those are my office hours. I ask that students just let me know if they would like to come in and talk or go over any problems or anything like that. The students have been really, really good about coming in or letting me know if they need help so far, and I'm very happy to spend the time to help students, and I just appreciate that they're taking accountability and asking for help when they need it. I've also got other times available during the day if before school doesn't work for whatever reason, so just in general, reach out to me and let me know if there's anything I can do or if we need to meet, and I'm happy to do that. Back on the Google Classroom page, virtual expectations, I went through that. Those are the class expectations. Our Google Meet link is also posted here in case students forget or can't find it. The Unit 1 class calendar is here as well. So this is something that students can click on to take a look at to see when tests are coming up or quizzes or anything like that. Maybe what the homework was or what we're going to be doing in class, but this is here available to students as well. And then I have our agenda slides, which is something that I update every day. And this just goes over what we're doing in class, what the homework is. So it's kind of like the calendar, but a little more detailed. So in here, this was our first day of class. I put in here when we've got quizzes coming up or where they can find answer keys, things like that. So this is a really, really good resource too if students are like, I can't remember what my homework was for today or what I'm supposed to get done. The agenda slides are very, very helpful, and I keep those as updated and detailed as possible for students. And I think that that's about it. Again, the blank unit packets I talked about earlier, there is a section for those here as well, and they are all on here. Answer keys for those unit packets as we go through are within the actual unit section. So Unit 1 answer keys are right here. And this class is very much based on students, especially right now with the remote learning, taking accountability for their learning. So checking answers against the answer key, asking questions when they don't understand things. This is what we would do during class as well. But it's a little bit different when I can't actually be in class to see the students working. So just to give you an idea, these are here as well. I think that's about it. That's it in a nutshell. If you've got any questions or concerns, again, please feel free to reach out to me. My email address is here. My phone number is here. And then you can find me on the North website as well. Thank you very much.